Thank you for tuning in to Inside Taiwan. I'm Melvin Tam. On June 20th, Kuomintang chairperson Ma Ying-jeou registered for the party's upcoming chairperson election, bringing with him the signatures and endorsement of 82,786 party members. Ma also released a statement announcing his intention to seek re-election and listing 7 objectives.
中国国民党，它基本上更要以更优质的民主、更稳固的团结、更紧密的党政合作来担当自己的重任。所以这次我出来参选党主席，道理很简单，就是还是要把以党辅政、党政密合的理念能够贯彻。
On June 20th, Kuomintang chairperson Ma Ying-jeou, accompanied by his campaign director Zhan Chunbo, Taipei Mayor Hao Longbing, and members of the party's youth cadre, registered for the party's upcoming chairperson election. Ma handed over 82,786 signatures of endorsement, which qualified him to run in the election. Ma said the government has many more reforms that it would like to implement, and therefore a close relationship between the government and ruling party is imperative. He added that this is one of the main reasons why he decided to run for re-election. Ma has also requested a leave of absence from the KMT and will spend the next month before the election canvassing support. The election will be held on July 20th.
Taichung Bus Rapid Transit will commence operations at the end of this year. The new buses will improve transportation convenience, and several aspects of the transportation system appear similar to that of the metro. And while some Taichung residents approve of the new system, some fear that the buses will operate at a loss due to current low transit ridership.
Audience members are excited to see a robot finally unveil the new Taichung Bus Rapid Transit bus. While the BRT system appears similar to that of the metro, it utilizes buses to transport passengers to their destination. Citizens who have tested the city's convenient BRT system have no trouble purchasing tickets and passing through station gates as they are familiar with the process. BRT trial operations are scheduled to begin at the end of the year. Buses will operate on the route between Donghai and Providence University. The system's blue line that reaches Taichung Station will commence operations next March. Taichung City has planned a total of 6 routes for the region. The city's BRT system will provide speedy and efficient transportation to help alleviate traffic at a significantly lower cost. While skeptics worry that the new system may operate at a loss during its first year of operations, Director General of Taichung City Government's Transportation Bureau Lin Liangtai's preliminary estimates show that the system will eventually become profitable. According to statistics, Taichung's 8-kilometer free bus ride program has significantly increased ridership by approximately 10%. Officials hope that more citizens will consider using public transportation to increase BRT ridership as well in the future. The city government hopes to provide residents with convenient public transportation through local MRT, BRT, and bus systems.
The Council of Labor Affairs intends to overhaul the Labor Contract Act, which was drawn up in 1936 and never carried out. The act will be amended to prohibit several recent points of contention, including unpaid leave, non-compete clauses, and minimum periods of service.
The recent economic downturn led many companies to force employees to take unpaid leave. In order to keep their jobs, the employees went along with their company's wishes. Many firms also force their workers to sign non-compete clauses because they worry about the leakage of trade secrets. This is especially common in the science and technology industry. In industries where employees receive training, such as the aviation industry, they are compelled to adhere to a minimum period of service because employers want a return on investment. As the relationship between laborers and employers has gotten more and more complex, the Council of Labor Affairs has decided to overhaul the Labor Contract Act, which was drawn up in 1936 and never carried out. The act will be amended to prohibit actions such as unpaid leave, non-compete clauses, and minimum periods of service. The CLA says it has already set up a task force to communicate with employers and laborers about the changes and will be seeking their opinions. Industry organizations, meanwhile, worry about firms losing operational flexibility once the law is changed, while labor organizations worry that it will lead to disadvantages for workers.
Construction on the southern branch of the National Palace Museum began this past February. To ensure that the project is going to be completed on schedule, the Jiayi County government recruited arts group to form a national supervisory alliance to monitor progress. If construction proceeds as scheduled, the branch will be completed at the end of 2015.
Physician and musician Zheng Zhiren sings of his hopes and dreams for the southern branch of the National Palace Museum. On June 19th, 60 artists from around Taiwan formed a national supervisory alliance to monitor construction progress at the behest of the Jiayi County government. Writer Lin Yan, who is from Jiayi's Dongshi Township, expressed hopes that the branch would not only balance resource allocation between northern and southern Taiwan, but also bring artists back to the south. Poet Wu Chen, who is from Zhanghua, says the construction of the branch will allow exquisite, refined art to interact with local culture. This in turn will help Taiwanese culture diversify. The artists further say they will use online forums to facilitate discussion. Construction on the 8 billion NT dollar project, which is expected to have a major impact on 9 central and southern municipalities, began this past February. The branch's soft opening has been scheduled for the end of 2015.
The Construction and Planning Agency released the results of a survey conducted on residential demands for the first quarter of the year. Many citizens are having a harder time purchasing homes compared to the previous quarter. Rising property prices in central and southern Taiwan will require average Taichung citizens to spend all their earnings for the next 8.6 years on purchasing a home, while the figure for Kaohsiung residents stands at 8.3 years.
Office workers in Taipei have had a difficult time purchasing property. However, employees in central and southern Taiwan are now facing the same problem. In the Construction and Planning Agency's latest residential demand survey for the first quarter of 2013, investigators discovered that housing prices in Taichung increased by nearly 30% in a single year. Properties are sold at an average price of 183,000 NT dollars per ping, which means that average Taichung residents will need to spend all their income for a period of 8.6 years on purchasing one piece of property. Average Kaohsiung residents will spend their entire income for a period of 8.3 years to purchase properties that sell at 175,000 NT dollars per ping. Realtors attribute this increase in property price to investors shifting their focus from Taipei to southern Taiwan. During the last year, average housing prices throughout the nation increased by approximately 12%, with houses being sold at an average price of 245,000 NT dollars per ping. On average, the nation's citizens will need to spend their income for a period of 8.9 years on purchasing a property. Realtors believe the high home buyers' misery index may have resulted from increasing property prices while wages have remained stagnant.
According to a new survey, 12% of female high school students in Taiwan are sexually active. Based on the report's findings, average age of first sexual intercourse for girls in Taiwan is 15.6 years.
According to a new survey, 12% and 38% of female high school and university students in Taiwan, respectively, are or have been sexually active. The survey also found that average age of first sexual intercourse for girls in Taiwan is 15.6 years. Experts say pregnancy is only one of many concerns, as vaginal and urinary tract infections are also common. Human papillomavirus infections, which can cause cervical cancer, are also on the rise. While HPV vaccines are regarded as the best form of prevention, the Japanese government withdrew support for HPV vaccines last week due to a myriad of side effects. The Bureau of Health Promotion, meanwhile, says no unusual side effects have been reported since it began offering free HPV vaccines 3 years ago, and it will therefore continue to promote the vaccines. As early discovery and early treatment are key, doctors recommend annual pap smears after the age of 30.
Several days ago, 5 pharmacists filed a petition for a constitutional interpretation as they disagreed with a law limiting pharmacists to only one place of employment and said it violated the guarantee to the right of work under the Constitution. The Taiwan Pharmacist Association and civic organizations responded by expressing their opposition to allowing pharmacists to work in multiple clinics, saying the limit helps to guarantee drug safety.
Pharmacists from all around the country attended the press conference organized by the Taiwan Pharmacist Association. Several days ago, 5 pharmacists who opposed a clause in the Pharmacist Act limiting pharmacists to only one place of employment had filed a petition for a constitutional interpretation. They reasoned that this clause violated the guarantee to the right of work under the Constitution. The Taiwan Pharmacist Association, meanwhile, worried that allowing pharmacists to work in several places at once would jeopardize drug safety, and therefore organized a press conference to oppose this petition. Representatives said that from the point of view of pharmacists, of course it's good to be able to work wherever they want, but doing so would reduce the quality of service. Civic organizations added that the separation between the medical and pharmaceutical industries is to ensure that doctors prescribe the correct medications, and the limit helps to guarantee drug safety.
Emirates was named the world's best airline at the 2013 Skytrax World Airline Awards. Taiwan's EVA Airways, which had just become an official member of Star Alliance this week, placed 12th, while China Airlines placed 50th.
18.2 million passengers from around the world recently named the Emirates, an airline based in United Arab Emirates, the world's best airline. Qatar Airways placed 2nd, while Singapore Airlines ranked 3rd on this year's list. AirAsia, which also offers flights to Taiwan, placed 1st in the best low-cost airline category. Skytrax announced the results of this year's awards at the Paris Air Show. Passengers from 160 countries around the world rated airlines on their cabins, service, and staff. Taiwan's EVA Air improved to place 12th this year. China Airlines, however, fell from 33rd place to 50th place this year. Representatives from the airline have said that nothing from gathered feedback has suggested that passengers have been dissatisfied with the airlines. However, the airline plans to improve its services after receiving more information on areas of dissatisfaction.
As Taiwanese society is an aging one, elder care facilities have become increasingly important. Products featured at this year's Taiwan International Medical and Healthcare Exhibition include sleep senior sensor pads and the bathing pad. Let's take a look.
The monitor displays information on the patient's respiratory functions. If the patient leaves the bed or suddenly stops breathing, the remote and monitor will immediately emit a warning. According to the manufacturer of this sleep sensor pad, the system, which costs over 10,000 NT dollars, can also be used to monitor infants. The Industrial Technology Research Institute, meanwhile, has developed a bathing bed for bedridden patients. As sponge baths cannot eliminate all hygiene-related issues and can also cause bed sores, this bed allows patients to enjoy baths without having to be moved. The Taiwan International Medical and Healthcare Exhibition opened on June 20th in conjunction with the Taiwan International Senior Lifestyle and Healthcare Show and Taiwan International Herbs and Functional Food Expo. In total, 513 domestic and foreign vendors are operating 900 booths at the events, with an estimated 63,000 buyers also registered.
15 years ago, Lin Chenyu, the owner of a buffet restaurant in Yunlin's Liu City, began handing out free lunches to senior citizens who live alone. Since then, she has footed the $5 million bill for 1,600,000 lunches.
Lin Chenyu is the owner of a buffet restaurant in Yunlin's Liu City. She says she didn't open the restaurant to make money, but rather to help senior citizens who live alone in her community. 15 years ago, she began handing out free lunches to the elderly, and she knew that many of them did not have nutritious meals to eat. As many of them also have mobility problems, Lin even delivers the lunch boxes she prepares before work to the community so that volunteers can distribute them later. Each day, she prepares about 30 lunch boxes of vegetables, meat, and fish. Over the years, she has handed out approximately 160,000 lunchboxes, and she estimates the value to be 5 million NT dollars. Ling says the satisfied and happy expressions of the senior citizens who eat her lunches are reward enough and allows her to feel the joy of helping others. She adds that this is why she has continued with the service over the years.
传统戏剧的新舞台在台北，请大家支持地方传统戏剧。
深厚的木雕文化与动人的山城风光，大自然刻画的断桥艺术与复古味十足的汽笛声响，旧山线铁道串起了精彩的农村庄园和那迷人的天空城堡。电鹅船、小火车，度假村里还有个童话世界，心动了吗？那就跟着台湾新动线一起走进浩克木雕城，苗栗3义，感受森林里的真滋味吧。
Welcome back to Inside Taiwan. I'm Melvin Tam. Baseball fans may be disappointed to hear that Manny Ramirez is set to leave Taiwan. Ramirez will be leaving the Yida Rhinos as he misses his family members. The team has declined to comment on rumors that teams in Japan are interested in hiring Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez was able to revitalize enthusiasm for baseball in Taiwan as fans rushed to purchase tickets to see the former MLB star play for the Yida Rhinos. His fans have even been known to wear dreadlocks to imitate his hairstyle. Ramirez decided to leave Taiwan after finishing his 3-month season. Despite raising Ramirez's salary in April and offering him housing, the player cited homesickness as his main reason for departing. Yida Rhinos manager Xu Shenming wishes Ramirez all the best, and the team has declined to comment on rumors that Japanese teams have been interested in hiring Ramirez. Ramirez will be leaving Taiwan on June 21st.
The Overseas Community Affairs Council's 2-day working conference for diplomatic personnel stationed in North America has kicked off. 24 overseas personnel took part in the meeting via video conference and conversed with OCAC Minister Wu Yingyi, Deputy Minister Ren Hong and Vice Minister Roy Liu on the current situations of overseas Chinese communities around North America.
A 2-day video conference between Overseas Community Affairs Council officials and diplomatic personnel stationed in North America recently opened. Before the conference began, OCAC Minister Wu Yingyi spoke with the 24 participants at length about overseas Chinese affairs and policies. The San Francisco-based Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association's recent decision to remove the Republic of China flag from its premises has been a source of concern to both the ROC government and the overseas Chinese community in recent weeks. As many view the act as harmful to ROC overseas Chinese ties, Wu urged diplomatic personnel to plant deeper roots in the community and expend efforts to better serve the community. Following individual reports from the directors of various ROC centers around North America, including Culture Center of Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Boston Director Guo Dawen, Culture Center of Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Los Angeles Director Liang Chongli, and Culture Center of Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in San Francisco Director Wu Yuhua, OCAC officials offered a series of recommendations and reminders.
3 years ago, the Tourism Bureau unveiled a star-based hotel rating system. Since then, only 373 hotels in all of Taiwan have received stars, including only 20% of hotels in Taipei City. The city's Department of Information and Tourism says that many hotels aren't interested in vying for stars because they will need to spend money for renovations and because Chinese tourists oftentimes cannot afford to stay at expensive hotels.
This hotel is located next to Taipei Main Station. Last year, it spent 100 million NT dollars on renovations and also hired European staff proficient in 4 languages to receive foreign visitors. In this way, it was able to impress the Tourism Bureau and received a 4-star rating. Only 373 hotels in all of Taiwan have received stars since the Tourism Bureau implemented the rating system 3 years ago. Out of that number, 71 are located in Taipei, although they only account for 20% of all hotels in the city. The city's Department of Information and Tourism says it's quite difficult for hotels to receive stars. Most of the time, owners have to spend large amounts of money on renovations. In addition, the majority of visitors to Taipei come from China, and they usually cannot afford to stay at expensive hotels. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that the star-based hotel rating system has not become widespread.
Domestic and international anti-landmine advocates were critical in helping Jinmen complete a landmine removal project. A total of 120,000 landmines were cleared on the island in order to provide locals a safe living environment. Minister of Culture Long Ying-tai hopes to preserve Jinmen's battlefield culture and promote it on the international stage.
The mining troops detonate a live mine at Hobian Beach and broadcast the footage to audience members taking refuge in the bunker. Despite the scorching heat, the mining troops don their heavy equipment before getting to work. Since 2006, 154 areas throughout Jinmen have been cleared of over 120,000 mines. The demining project was completed 3 years ahead of the schedule set by the Mine Ban Treaty. In the last 40 years, Jinmen residents have had to accept the presence of landmines in their daily lives. Many children have received injuries, including some of which were lethal, from landmines spread across the island. This former battlefield has now transformed into a popular tourist destination. Only through completely clearing the island of landmines will citizens be guaranteed a peaceful life.
In many parts of Taiwan, technical and vocational education has deep roots in the community. Hualien's Yutong Junior High School, for example, established a woodworking department 5 years ago. The school is now renowned for its driftwood creations. This year, for the first time, student creations are being exhibited at Taipei's Ba Biliao.
On display at this exhibition are several wall clocks and pieces of furniture. Despite the simple lines of the furniture, much thought clearly went into design. More than 70 wood pieces designed and crafted by Yudong Junior High School woodworking students are on exhibit here. Many visitors say they are deeply impressed by the level of skill of the young artisans. According to the principal of Yudong Junior High School, woodworking is but one aspect of the multifaceted education offered at the school. School officials are extremely proud of the growth and achievements of students. At the same time, however, they remain concerned about the resource gap between urban and rural schools and whether students from rural areas will be able to keep up when they enter technical school. The school students, meanwhile, say that woodworking has given them self-confidence. Yudong teacher Wang Jiana hopes that the government can help these students become all that they can be while promoting vocational and technical education.
福德水车公园生态园区有座横跨8连溪的美丽虹桥，远看有如河上的一道彩虹，形成浪漫的地景。
8连溪基本上它是我们三支最大的一个河川哈，那整个8连溪旁边有非常丰富的生态哈，所以你如果说夏日来这边的话，你可以这边钓鱼啊、玩水啊，是非常适合来玩。
虹桥旁的水车是8连溪畔最令人怀念的风情。 过去3支乡民赖以碾米制茶，如今依然默默灌溉河岸旁的农田。侨委会2013年实体店面行销实战班即日起开始报名，详情请见网站或向我驻外管处以及各地华侨文教服务中心洽询。
Welcome back, and here's a look at what's on the event calendar. And that concludes today's Inside Taiwan. I'm Melvin Chen. Thank you for watching. Please tune in again tomorrow. Take care.
为了加强与美国主流学校的交流，侨委会特别邀请美国地区主流学校及侨教组织人士参访团来台进行为期5天的参访行程。一行18人来到侨委会拜会，受到仁宏副委员长热情接待。近年来，全球开始注重华语文教学，许多美国公立学校也开始进行全中文的沉浸式教学。从低年级同学开始，就以全中文的教学环境教授各科目。侨委会希望透过这次行程，让美国主流学校了解台湾的优势，也促进我国师资人才的流通。
最重要的是，我们希望他了解台湾的教学资源，侨委会的侨教工作，还有我们老师的训练。因为这样的学校的对老师的需求是特别大，因为他们一个班要2个老师，从幼稚园开始，如果到了7年级、8年级、9年级，可能每年要增加2个老师。那这样的师资的需求会非常大。那我们希望他能够到台湾来找最优秀的华语老师，到他们学校去任教。
海外侨校耕耘有成，现在美国主流学校也开始受益。透过侨委会的串流，台湾的师资以及教学资源成功传递到海外，让更多华裔子弟和想学习华语的外国友人有更便捷优良的学习管道和环境。
这也是侨委会第一次的创举，主要的目的就是说，我们的华裔子弟也慢慢了到了主流的部分，同时也需要借由主流一起来带动中国文化跟语言在海外的传递，我想这是主要的目的。也就是说，侨委员会不再只是服务海外的中文学校，同时也注重主流学校跟台湾的主流学校之间的互动。
这次回来真的是非常感谢这个侨委会的侨教组的安排让我们这些主流学校的老师还有这个行政人员回来参观台湾的这个语言的学习方面的成果，还有这个很多这个在中文教学上的一些材料资源。
这次来自纽约、芝加哥、洛杉矶等美国各地主流学校的团员，除了拜访教育部、侨委会，还将到台湾几所特色小学、国高中去实际了解台湾的教学环境，也希望透过交流和分享，让台美双方学校有更紧密的互动。台湾宏观电视郭品慈、钟建刚台北采访报道。